good.
Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. This is the Prima Pediatrics Healthcare Hour. PrimaPediatrics.net for more information. They are your care providers for infants, children, adolescents, teens, and young adults. Give them a call, 424-9000, 424-9000. Dr. Feldman joins us in studio, and we've been talking bike-a-thon, and we're shifting gears a little bit to spring health concerns. We talked a little bit about some of the concerns, and one concern, of course, is conjunctivitis. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, I usually just call it pink eye. Yeah.
Well, it's easier to call it pink eye, but pink eye just means your eye is pink, but it doesn't tell you why.
Yeah, and it's very, very contagious. It's very contagious, right?
Most of the time, yeah. If it's the bacterial type or the viral type.
So one thing, obviously, tell your kids to wash their hands, right?
Right, and the question then becomes, is dirt so bad?
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask. I read an article here. Is are we? We got the antibacterial pump stuff all over the place. Are we scared? Too scared of germs these days? Is dirt bad?
The answer is yes and no.
Okay.
Here's the thing. In the old days, we're talking about a century ago, dirt was germs, because if you were dirty all the time and you didn't bathe, then you accumulated a lot of bacteria on your body and a lot of stuff, and it was easy to transmit. And as a result, people got sick. The impetigo, which is the skin infections, you could see it. You'd see, and even now in third world countries where the kids are, half nutritionally malnourished, and you see these kids with the flies in their nose, and they got these big, yucky sores and stuff. That's because of bacteria from dirt. But there is the opposite end of things, and that is if you're too clean, if you have too little bacteria, that's not good either.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing wrong with dirt by itself. What's wrong is to allow it to accumulate to the point where it causes you to get bacterially infected. And that brings us to the next question is, well, how often should a kid wash their hands? Well, you cannot make a kid crazy. So, you can, but it's not a good idea. The fact is, I recall clearly, and this reminds me of something that I remember from to this day. When I was a kid, we had just moved into our subdivision, and basically you could see a mile in either direction because the houses were just being built. So it rained a lot in Michigan in the summer, and you'd come out, and the whole neighborhood was mud. So a lot of the mothers on the block wouldn't let their kids out in the mud. And my mother looked at it and she said, "Oh, it's perfect. The sun is shining and the mud and the water is fabulous. Here, get in your bathing suits." And she sent us out. "Go play in the mud and have a wonderful time. Here's a little stone to throw at the kitchen window. When you're done, throw the stone at the window and I'll come out with the hose and hose you down." And honest to God, that's exactly what we did. The other mothers on the block thought my mother was completely crazy. Honest, they did. But it wasn't as if she allowed us to stay muddy and dirty all day. We went out and played for about an hour, and I can still remember the feeling of all that slushy mud squiggling through my toes. We had such a blast. And we have a picture of the four of us, myself and my two brothers and my sister, covered in mud from that day. It stands in our family album. And we grew up pretty dang healthy. And the fact is that, yes, a kid can get into the dirt and the mud. It's not unhealthy. It's not a big deal. As long as they could clean afterwards. And I don't mean every time they get a little piece of dirt on their fingers. I mean, a couple times a day. Now, the thing that they really need to wash their hands or cleanse for is if they're carrying germs around that day.
Okay.
And then that gets you to the whole issue of the pink eye conjunctivitis thing. And the answer is, you got to find a happy medium. Now, these days they have this whole thing of teaching the kids to sing the alphabet song twice, or you count to 20 twice, or whatever, so that you know how long you have to wash your hands for. That's a great idea, except that, guess what? We're in a drought.
Oh, yeah.
And have you ever watched toddlers wash their hands, or even school-age kids, if they're doing the alphabet song? They never turn the water off.
That's true. Yeah.
So you've got that water running for at least 4 times longer than it should be. So there has to be some kind of interval here where we wash enough but not too much. And the other part of it is with conjunctivitis is that a lot of the conjunctivitis at this time of the year is allergic and it's not infectious.
Okay.
So if you've got pus coming out, it's infectious.
Then it's bad news bears.
And if the child has any other set of symptoms, such as runny nose, sore throat, cough, they have to see the doctor for that. Because then we're not talking conjunctivitis. A third of the children under age 6 who have conjunctivitis have an ear infection with it.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, the allergies got me today.
So
But-
we certainly hit the spectrum here on your bike-a-thon. Good luck with that. We only have a
thank
couple
you.
minutes left, but I want to ask one quick, if you give me like less than 60-second answer.
Okay.
But is there an issue with the antibacterial stuff and the kids' immune systems? Like, is it hurting their immune system?
It's not hurting them in and of itself. What's hurting them is that they're not getting enough exposure to bacteria and viruses for their immune system to develop enough to fight it off.
Okay.
If you keep somebody too clean, then actually there is a rise, very well documented show that shows a rise in autoimmune disorders. Because then the immune system attacks anything because it's had nothing to attack before.
Gotcha. Doctor, thank you so much. It's always fun to have you on the first Friday of every month. It's the Prima Pediatrics Healthcare Hour. So, again, appreciate you stopping by. And good luck training.
Thank you.
And we'll see.
I guess I'm going to have to take a bike with me on the ride up to Sacramento. Huh?
Yeah, I guess so. You can actually probably ride right next to the bus. I think you'll be okay. yeah, that's probably what you should do. Thanks, Doc. Dr. Feldman, Prima Pediatrics, primapediatrics.net. This has been the Prima Pediatrics Healthcare Hour on AM 1220 KHTS.
I feel